know, there are three kinds of people in the world. Those that, with God's help, make things happen, those who watch things happen, and those who don't know what's happening. Now, in this courtroom, part of my job is to make sure that the jury knows what's happening. And that's why in about an hour from now, I'm going to instruct this jury that they understand that due process of law means the burden of proof is on the prosecution. It is a well-settled, established, and well-precedented, I might add, principle of law that the burden of proof rests clearly on the prosecution. Now, I want to make sure you understand that. Now, by my sitting here with you, before this jury comes back, you need to understand something. I'm going to forget about the fact that you're my son. And I'm going to forget about the fact that I changed your diapers, I brought you to school in the middle of a snowstorm and blizzards and rain and snow and who knows what, and put you through Harvard Law School. The only thing that's going to matter is how well you present this case before that jury. And if you try one more of those little cute law school tricks, well, to put it mildly, I'm going to wipe the floor with you. So remember that. I'll see you in court, counselor, in just a few minutes. Oh, by the way, thanks for the Father's Day card. Remember what I told you. We'll take care of that under curative instructions to the jury. Mr. Rodriguez, the question is asked, how many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? And the answer is only one, but the light bulb has to really want to be changed. Well, Mr. Rodriguez, based on what you've told the court, I think I'm going to change my mind. And I'm going to change the venue of custody. I'm going to give custody of this child to his mother. And the reason I'm going to do that, Mr. Rodriguez, is because when you told me that in the middle of a blazing snowstorm, you wanted to insist on your rights to take this child, which according to Section 4, Article 11 of the State Code, you would be entitled to. But then I thought about it. In the middle of a blizzard, you were willing to risk both his life and yours to stand on the principle of custody. Well, Mr. Rodriguez, I also went through a marriage where I had to fight for the custody of a child. And what I know about custody has to do with people wanting to win. And that's what you want to do, Mr. Rodriguez. You want to win. You're not interested in the good and welfare of this child. But the court is. And that's why custody is granted to Mrs. Velasquez. Next case, please. You know the difference between a bad lawyer and a good lawyer? A bad lawyer can make a case go on for months. A good lawyer can make it go on even longer. So when I tell you that I'm not a bad lawyer or a good lawyer, I'm an honest lawyer. And the only thing I care about is making sure that justice is done. Maybe that's something you need to know. Maybe that's something we all need to know. When I say ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm talking to people who understand what the principles of justice are. You know, there was a time that you could walk into this very courtroom and ladies and gentlemen of the jury, ladies, there weren't any ladies. And gentlemen, well, those were the guys who the night before were wearing white hooded sheets and put a burning cross on the very person's lawn that they were going to be trying that day. Let me tell you something. You know what the color of justice is? It's not black, it's not white, it's not what you believe or what I believe. The color of justice is truth. It's transparent. And make sure that when you're in that courtroom tomorrow with me, that you're not a bad lawyer or a good lawyer, but an honest one. Look, let me tell you something. When I was a professor at Harvard Law School, I asked a group of students, what was the biggest problem with a particular case? Was it ignorance or was it apathy? One student raises their hand and says, I don't know, and I don't care. Well, the problem here is that I do know and I do care. And I've got to convince the jury that you're somebody who does care about what happens to people and that you would never have committed a crime like this. But for some reason, you just want to keep covering things up. Now, I don't know why. But you've got to be honest with the court. You've got to be honest with me. And most of all, my friend, you've got to be honest with yourself.